fans of the island.
Oh,
yeah.
fans of the island.
I'm a
Right.
fan.
Fans of the curse of the fans.
Yeah, Curse of the Fans.
Yeah.
I like that
All right,
one.
all right.
Curse of the Fans.
Yeah. You'll never get that gold now. So we're going to roll with this. We're going to do another episode of Curse of Oak Island recap, season 7, episode 2.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the swamp, baby. They're core drilling to find the remnants of a ship,
potential
ship, whatever the anomaly, the penis anomaly was. They're
Yes.
gonna try to explore that penis a little bit further. So the first core was 16.5 feet deep from water level, and there's no apparent wood in their first core, but they'll dig through the muck. The second core has dry clay, which surprises a lot of them. Like, why is it dry? It shouldn't be dry.
Because it's a swamp. They literally had
Right.
to go down
This is
through
water.
feet of water first to get
Right.
to the core sample of the.
Okay.
So they're finding dry clay not that far down.
Yeah.
Which you would think water would seep farther down than that, right?
Right.
Okay, I'm putting it out there now. I've never seen Oak Island.
Okay.
Should we start off with having you ask some questions?
At least, where is Oak Island? Like,
It's in Nova Scotia.
okay, how would I know this?
You got to watch the show.
Again, haven't seen the show.
Well, I don't know.
So
It's in Nova Scotia.
It's in Nova Scotia.
Yes.
Oh, I had another really solid question. I've completely forgotten it.
If you remember.
Like, what's the premise of the show?
So there is. Oh my God, where do we start?
30-second summary.
Many
Go.
years ago. Okay, there. Oh man, just like some variations on this. So some guys were in a rowboat and they saw some weird lights on the island, even though the island is supposed to be uninhabited. So they go to the island. They try to find these lights. They're gone. They notice a depression in the ground near this big oak tree, I think. And so they just they're curious about it. So I think that night or maybe the next day, they go back and they start digging. And then every 10 feet, they find a bunch of cut up wooden logs. Every 10 feet, they just keep finding more and more of these logs just laid out in like a plank almost.
And that's these guys?
No. This is like
a long time ago.
15, 1600s, something like
okay.
that. 1700s. I forget the year. So they keep going, and then I think that's when they found a stone tablet. It had a bunch of weird markings on it.
Was that at 90 feet?
Yeah, I think at 90 feet. 90 feet down. This is crazy. So they keep going. They find a stone tablet, it's almost like hieroglyphs, but they're just like symbols, like just weird lines. They're not even letters. I think they keep going, and then at some point they hit. Is that when they hit the flood tunnel?
It was
and
right after they got the.
Yeah, right after they get there. All of a sudden, I think the next day they were going down, lowering themselves down, and then they just hit there was just water in the pit that just filled up.
And that's now these guys that are in the water, or we're still in the 1500s?
No, still the same people. And then word gets out, more and more people are curious about it, and then there's just more and more exploration, and over time, this curiosity is built up. What is there? Why was this here? Is there some buried treasure on the island? There's all these crazy theories of who may have put something there.
But there's no definite anything there.
Well,
There's just the hope that there's something is.
No, there wasn't any actual treasure reported to be found, but there's that whole weird setup led to more excavation, which led to more odd findings. There's they found a flood tunnel. They found coconut husk that shouldn't be there.
And corn.
The coconut husk and the corn was used to help keep stuff from clogging these flood tunnels. So they would put the coconut husk so that only water could get into these flood tunnels. The corn was something to do with filling, stopping the flood tunnel so they could go down further. They had a way of blocking the water from getting in.
And at one point, I forget what year this was, and sometime, I want to say in the 1900s, someone put some dye in one of the holes, the drill holes, to see where the water is coming in from.
Okay.
The dye, I think, appeared in several locations out in the ocean seawater from the island. So it was they're
So
trying.
it's like coming up from under the island or something. Or like
it's just
around?
coming out, so there might be different tunnels coming in
from different directions to one
to to flood this hole. So like it seems like someone went through very detailed efforts to flood this area to prevent people from uncovering whatever is beneath.
And some of the other crazier ideas of what has actually been here: pirates' treasure.
Yep.
Also, the Ark of the Covenant.
Yes.
Is a big theme. Was there any other major ones that now they found the potential of a boat that was maybe potentially covered
some
over
other
on
stuff
purpose?
pertaining to Jesus? I don't know.
There's
But
lots of religious potential artifacts and things. The connections on those are held by a hair at best.
There's some weird stuff.
So according to this legend,
Right.
one more is going to go.
Yes. Yeah. Which would probably get the show canceled if that happens. So I don't know if that'll happen.
Well, it hasn't stopped,
Other things.
Like what was the other show we were talking about? Deadliest Catch. Plenty of people have died throughout the years.
Yeah. I mean,
At least a couple now.
it's tough because it's like, I guess it depends on the nature of how, like if it depends if it's just like an accident while people weren't adhering to safety standards, you might get like shut down. Like you're just not they're not gonna give you permits to keep going on if they deem it dangerous or, there's just gross negligence there.
Right.
I think there was an episode of In Search Of, like way back in the day, like Leonard Nimoy hosted it, that I first heard about, and I was like, "Well, that's crazy." And then when this show came up, I was like, "Oh, I'm
really?
getting into this."
That far back?
Yeah, it just I remember watching it as a kid, like I was 9 or 10, and it was on TV, and I remember seeing like the story a little bit. And then for Rick and Marty, like Rick read the story like Reader's Digest. They got him like going.
Oh, that's right.
So that's why he got into it, and then Marty like just kind of went with him and tagged along. And Marty's always been a skeptical one, of the whole situation. But the evidence they're uncovering, he's buying more and more into it as they go along. So anyway, back to core drilling in the swamp, and then after they pull up some cores, the core driller got stuck on something.
Yep. And it was big dramatic tension, and then they're like, okay. Anyway, continue.
The third core came up 29.5 feet deep, and they pull up something very solid in this core. They're looking at it. I think Marty says that almost looks like a cap rock. So was this a natural formation or was it placed there by man? And the cap rock is something used in like oil drilling to cap a well under...
Okay.
In seawater, underwater. So if that's the case, like how did this get there? So that's going to have to be investigated.
It was, I don't know if it was a cap rock that they were referring to or cap rock in general, because they were referencing natural land formations and caves that had this same type of material.
Yeah, that's right.
But, all right, so the drill stops again, and then they say, just smash it.
Yeah.
So the guy just gets a sledgehammer, it's bang, bang.
And he's smashing it on the drill.
Right on the drill.
Right on the drill, like casing there.
Because if the drill wasn't strong enough.
Right, exactly. Like, come on, it's a drill.
It's gonna break it free down at the bottom.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
No matter, even though it's already going like 30 feet down,
that's how leverage works.
This little vibration is gonna.
Anyway, so they end up quitting for the day because it doesn't do anything, and the next day they set up in a new spot. This video is sponsored by Forged, a Jason Knight Maker series.
What's that all about?
Oh, that is the new series by Jason Knight that is available through his website, where Jason gives you tips and tricks and lessons on how to make the elemental knife, in his words, the forged style knives that he likes to make. Forged to sharp, as he would say. It's a great video series that he's put together. Currently, you can purchase it on his website, and there's 6 videos to watch in the first 6 parts of the series. There's going to be exclusive content available on the site as well, coming soon. And if you want to purchase it, you can go to nightforgestudio.com to see where this is and purchase it.
Is there a promo code?
as a matter of fact, there is.
Hey.
If you go on this Night Forge Studio and use coupon code FOF15, FOF15, you can get $15 discounted from the price of this video series.
Nice.
So go on there if you really want to check out these videos. Listen, we have the views on the other video that we did with Jason Knight to kind of prove that
We know you like them.
people like watching Jason Knight work. This video series is all about Jason Knight doing his work
Yep.
and making some badass knives.
Learn from a master smith.
Exactly. It's really, if you think about it, you're learning these lessons from a master smith. It's a bargain.
Yeah.
So check out the video series, and don't forget to use the promo code FOF15 to save $15 on your purchase of the Forge Jason Knight Maker Series videos.
Be a maker. Go check it out.
And they go back to the excavation at Smith's Cove. So this is where it was just a regular beach before, and then they put these seawalls up.
They built them?
They built them here,
Okay.
the part of the show, like within the last few seasons, so that they could do excavating in that area and look for ships and things like that maybe, or treasure that would have fallen off a boat, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and also because Dan Blankenship mentioned that when he had put up a cofferdam many years ago to do some digging and searching around, he found this wooden U-shaped structure there.
Oh,
But
right.
then a storm took out his cofferdams, and he never went back to try to uncover that. So that's kind of what led them there. And then they had a company put up these big steel interlocking walls to block off the seawater. And then last season they just uncovered so much wooden structure there. It was crazy. It was like a slipway, and it looked like it was basically like some sort of wharf.
Yep. Right. So they are back here with an electromagnetic radar device so they can see if there's anything related to the box streams in this area. And then it skips over to Gary Drayton, our favorite.
Your boy.
Our favorite.
Why is he the favorite?
He's just our favorite. He's our favorite metal detector.
Oh, him.
Yeah.
Him. And so Rick and Dan also go with him to Lot 21, where they haven't really done a whole lot of searching yet, to try to detect some metal. And
Whoever made it.
okay, so they find something. They're very successful in finding things with that metal detector because it's almost immediate. You hear beep 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 beep, and then he goes, dig it up.
All right, dig that up.
You dig that up. And so the guys pull it out, and it's these like things that are like shaped like a hammerhead, like a blacksmith hammer. And so the guys, I think this is like a masonry hammer or quarry hammer, just based off the shape of it. So they they bag it, tag it, and they keep looking, and they find a second hammerhead, like in the woods there, and it's bigger. And so they oh, that's pretty cool. So they take it with them, and then they head back
to the swamp.
To the swamp.
With their wetlands expert, Dr. Spooner. Dr. Spooner thinks it's a young swamp, and he's going to test the core samples to try to determine age of the soil sample and figure this all out, try to date the swamp.
The basis of why he thinks that is it's where the sediments of the clay and everything are showing up at what depth.
Yep.
He says if it was a swamp that had been there a long time,
They'd be
that
deeper.
would be much deeper.
Yeah. So now they're checking out the cave-in pit, which
This is the first I've heard of.
yeah,
What's a cave-in pit?
That's what they call this particular spot
In
where
the
it's
swamp?
so there was like
in a different part of the island.
Oh. They haven't
Yeah.
been there before? Or they just haven't shown it?
They
haven't really gone to this part of the island. Like everything was mainly concentrated on one side of the swamp, really.
Do people live on this island?
People have. So the two guys that just passed away most recently, like they lived there actively. Rick and Marty bought up all the land, plots of land on there. But previously, there had been a fair amount of people that lived on there. Like even back in 1800s, 1700s, there was people that were living there, farming on the island too. So there's some history there. So this cave-in pit was thought to be an old air tunnel, and they identify some anomalies that could be related to the flood tunnel system. And then the next day, it's time to look at more cores. So
they look at them for 2 seconds.
yeah, they go, and they're just like, oh, okay, and that's it. And then the next thing they do is they all go back to the war room, and they have all the shit that they've found pretty much since they've been there, and they have it all laid out on this giant table. And they bring in blacksmith expert Carmen Legg to look at the artifacts, and they've gone to him before with stuff that they found, and now they had him come to the island. He says that the hammers were actually swages used for sharpening rock tools, which is indicative of a mining or tunneling site. And he dates it to the 1400s through possibly 1750. And he said there could have been stuff happening on the virtually unexplored western Drummond of the island.
So what that means is there's theories that these were actually, there was 2 islands with like a causeway of sorts going between them that were bricked off, and then that was filled in with dirt and becomes the swamp area now. So that's where there's still water there.
Okay.
But on this other part of it, they haven't really done much excavation or stuff there because they didn't think this.
There was never any real evidence to go to that side of the island for anything.
But they found Lot 21 was in that side.
Right. So these hammers are found over there. So now they're like, well, maybe we should be over here. Maybe there's something to it that we've been overlooking the whole time.
Right. And so they are back to the swamp again. Like this is the third or fourth time in the episode to look at some more core samples. Now they're looking at the core from 54 to 57 feet, which was where the anomaly was supposed to be underneath the swamp.
The clay.
So they pull up the core, they open it up. There's no wood present, which is what they were expecting. They thought
And they were supposedly in exactly the spot where it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, if there was a ship there, you should find some wood or drill through some wood.
Or something. But they just found basically more clay.
Yeah.
And so the core had lots of dry clay as well. The one big takeaway they had from the amount of clay that was underneath is that this is the type of clay that it can retain its structural integrity enough that you can tunnel through it. Mm-hmm. So, like, it's possible there could be tunnels underneath the swamp.
Yeah.
Because of that type of clay being there.
So, this thing that they're seeing, it was on a monitor?
Oh, they had taken a sensor over the swamp that could penetrate with some sort of...
Well, that's
radar.
So it was when they did the seismograph stuff.
That's right.
So they lit off a bunch of explosions. They had sensors read the readings that from those explosions to kind of map out what was underneath the surface. So it would sense like thicker material, and it came up with this shape that I say looks like a wiener, and they say it looks like a boat. I don't know.
But there was they didn't know that it was wooden. They just saw the shape and thought it was a boat.
They assumed that
So could it just be the clay?
Well, then going further...
Because it's a different kind of material.
In the war room, they're discussing their findings, and you see the penis map up on the wall. And...
That's what it's being called. Okay.
That's what it is from now on.
Have you seen it?
Well, no.
Do you have a picture of the penis map?
We'll find it.
I kind of want to see Teresa's...
I'm not going to Google that.
I want to see Teresa's reaction to this map.
There it is.
You have it right there.
There it is.
All right.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. So now you get it. They returned to the penis map.
Right. And does that look like a boat to you?
No.
No, it
not at all. But they decide that because there's so much clay at that level, maybe what they're seeing is actually a cavity that is a tunnel underneath the clay at that depth.
But they were at the depth and there was clay in it.
Well, the first time they drilled, they got stopped. So they moved the location, and they're still finding clay. So they might find a void underneath. We don't know yet.
Right.
Gotcha.
So from there, they go into this big discussion. Should we just try to excavate the whole fucking swamp?
Yeah.
They're like, we're going to do it. We're going to try to do it. Even though they're just like, well, if you drain it, you're still going to be like falling into the swamp.
Yeah, because they said, what if we just drain it and then dig? And they're like, no way. It's going to be just soupy stuff. You're going to sink machinery in there.
Yeah.
So they have to come up with some method to try to...
Like a bridge?
Somebody commented on our first wrap-up video saying that they should get the people from Gold Rush in there to help them excavate the entire island.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Except The
Is that the same network?
I think so.
Oh.
It's all History
Disney.
Channel.
Disney.
Gold Rush?
no Discovery.
Is it Discovery?
Gold Rush is Discovery.
Is it?
Yeah,
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
I watch it. I'm familiar with it.
Hey.
I watch this.
Anyway.
So I don't know how feasible it would be to just have Gold Rush guys come on,
No.
excavate. They probably want to get permits to do this massive, excavation.
No, it's
Not at the
For a
Gold
different
Rush
network,
level.
especially.
no, definitely not.
Yeah. So, but you still run into the problem of trying to get through the swamp and pull that dirt out, and
Right. So we'll have to see.
yeah.
But they're going to try to do it. And that's where the episode ends.
Bum, bum, bum.
So that was the whole episode. And, we didn't do it on any of the other recordings that we did, but we might as well just toss it on here. What were you drinking all night while we recorded these episodes? Sean, let's start
So
with
I
you.
was drinking Narragansett.
Narragansett.
Hey, neighbor. Yeah, good old Narragansett here.
What were you drinking, Teresa?
I was drinking White Claw.
There's no laws when you have White Claws.
Apparently not.
And then I was back to the Lizard King Mosaic Hopped IPA.
Yeah.
Very good. I saw it in there, and I was like very, very tempted.
I saw it too.
There's still
probably
one
next
more.
week I'll
There's
grab that
more
one.
for it in there. So that's that. And what about Tales from Infinite Forge? Do we have anything to talk about?
I split that wood. It smells like shit. It smells like
it rotten?
a smell. No, it smells like a dairy farm, like cow shit. Like it just smells like that. Yeah, sometimes like oak just stinks,
Oh.
but it's all good. It's not like rotten. It just stinks.
So if you burn it in your fireplace, it'll stink up the house.
I don't know. Like you have to wait
It's
a
gotta,
couple
like,
years
yeah.
for it to dry out, so that it'll probably retain some stink. But when it burns, I don't think you notice it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Teresa? What have you been doing lately?
Lots of little things. Made like a paper horse head thing, and it ended up being smaller than I thought, so I can't use it for what I wanted to use it for. But now we have a paper horse head thing.
All right.
Paper horse. We should hang it on the wall
Oh,
or
yeah.
something down
Okay,
here.
we'll do that.
Yeah.
And then for work, making centerpieces. That was my project today.
Cool.
That was fun.
I just recently made hot sauce. I got a batch of hot sauce made. Jalapeno, mango, pineapple. And it's pretty good.
New combo?
A little bit. Yeah, I put some actual mango in with pineapple juice.
It's called
And
whatever Big Y has in stock this week.
For the peppers.
Yeah.
For the peppers. It's whatever they got. So like,
Okay.
sometimes they have habaneros. Sometimes they
Yeah,
have
'cause if you done habanero, but now with the you haven't done jalapeno with that, right?
No.
Right.
Yeah.
I think
It
usually
still
it's like
tastes
mango
very good.
habaneros.
Yeah.
You tried.
It's just a little bit lighter on the heat. So it's
Okay.
actually probably more preferable because I go a little overboard with the heat on it sometimes. So that was fun.
Cool.
And then I've also been working on converting a bunch of horseshoes into different types of hooks.
Mm-hmm.
So I've sketched out a bunch of them and like
Yep.
like the different process points or the different steps to take one horseshoe and turn it into the heart-shaped hook or whatever. And I've gotten a bunch of them prepped so that they're ready to form the hearts. And, I'm going to try to get a couple hooks made up.
Yeah.
And I'm also I think I'm going to try to make some of those candy canes that similar to what Josh Weston has been showing the
Okay.
last few days. Just as family gifts or something.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
could be a nice thing to
That's
give.
cool.
So, yeah, it's a couple things I want to get
Nice.
working on. I was hoping to be able to get my act together so I could have stuff to sell for this upcoming Makers Market that's at the Dragon's Breath Forge, but I don't know if I'm going to have that ready in time, and I haven't contacted them at all about it.
We'll just
So,
go and enjoy it.
We're going to go to that Maker Market either way. That's,
Sell them out of your coat pockets.
Say, hey, you want a hook?
You want some of that?
Want us.
I got your hooks right here, man.
So anyway, you should go check out that Makers Market if you are in Connecticut next Saturday, November 30th. We'll be checking it out for sure. There's going to be a bunch of different people there, including Matt Berry, Matt Parkinson from Dragon's Breath, Jamie from Dragon's Breath, There's a charcuterie company that's going to have stuff there.
Okay.
There's She Bean Brewery's going to have some stuff there.
Nice.
Are they doing forging this time?
They're going to have forging demonstrations going on.
Nice.
So 12 to 6 p.m., Dragon's Breath Forge in Woolkit, Connecticut.
Very
Check
cool.
it out.
Yep.
What else has been going on? Anything else we can talk about? That's
All right. That's it.
All right. Thanks
Sounds good to
everybody
me.
for watching. Tune in next time for our next Oak Island wrap-up.
See ya.